Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Forget about a Stanley Cup final prediction. I'm going to ask you for a Final Four, and I'll go first. We spent half our time in Calgary. You can imagine what they're saying. I'll say a Calgary-Colorado West final and a Florida-Toronto East final. They'd love to see Flames Leafs. Who do you, or have you thought about who might be your Final Four?
Yeah, you know what? I'm okay with Calgary and Colorado. I picked the Avalanche. I did take that low-hanging fruit before the season began, and I said I'm going to take the Avalanche to win the Stanley Cup, just as I said last year, Rod, that they'd win the Stanley Cup. Last year, they let me down. They let themselves down. I can see the Flames and Avalanche. They appear to be on a collision course at this point. In the East, I think the two teams we'll see going at it tonight, Carolina and Tampa, is what I've got in the Eastern Conference Final. I can see that crossover between the divisions, obviously, with Carolina and Tampa Bay contesting the Eastern Conference. So in the end, ultimately, I'm going to go with Colorado facing the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning come up just short and try to three-peat and become the first team to do so since the New York Islanders back in the 1980s in the midst of their dynasty, of course. So I'm going to go with Colorado over Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay to beat Carolina and Colorado to beat Calgary as far as the semifinals go.
Well, very unpopular picks in the markets where we're broadcasting the show from, Calgary and South Florida. But hey, it's going to be fun no matter what.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Back in the day, while Gretzky did put up with some harassment, overall, you didn't touch Wayne because you would then have to deal with Dave Semenko and Marty McSorley. And that's just not the way the game is played anymore. I'm not an NHL coach. I don't watch enough Leafs games. It just, to me, comes across as a lot of whining that if you do complain, it's going to go one of two ways. The refs are either going to listen, maybe he's right, and get the calls, or they're going to ram it even more where the sun don't shine.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. Hello, everybody. Hello, Canada, Canadian sports fans here in the United States. Welcome to the RP Show. It's your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show and the only live daytime sports entertainment talk show. Therefore, we are your favorite. Very big day today. Our good friends Peter Loubardias, Calgary Flames radio broadcaster, and Jim Lang, Canada's foremost NFL expert, will be joining us throughout the next 2 hours for a lot of fun and sports frivolity. We welcome in the Moose, Darren Dupont, today. Does he have a bunny hug on? He does. Very popular, Moose. I opened up the text line today, the 902 line this morning, and they're all raving about that bunny hug you were wearing yesterday. That one you got on today, as I recall, extremely thick and warm. Are you having a cold day in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle?
Yeah, you know, we're not. We're going to have a beautiful day. It's going to be about 5 degrees or more above zero. But
nice.
I was out this morning, as you know, and it was a little chilly. It was 7 below, and so I put on the thick bunny hug, and this one came from Ryan Leslie, so our good friend Ryan Leslie. So it's comfy, and I'm going to enjoy it this morning.
Well, okay, and hey, just want to say I'm repping Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. My good guy Camco over there at Bronco, and I know that I look a little bit like a furnace or air conditioning repairman, and I'm here for it. So, Bronco, hello to the boys. They love the hockey talk, so we're going to be talking about that. But, you know, it's interesting with daytime sports talk. It's afternoon out here on the East Coast. It's still people just waking up out on the West Coast. It's just interesting doing a national show time-wise. I had a lot of things that I wanted to get to, and I will at some point, but, you know, things change as we go through the day. There's breaking news today. The breaking news, Taylor Hall has been fined $5,000 for his sucker punch last night on the Boston forward, which we'll get into in a moment. But I just want to say, daily South Florida sports talk, because it's a different world than not just what we're used to in Western Canada, Moose, but quite frankly, all of Canada. This morning I was at Brooklyn Water Bagel, and there was a bunch of guys sitting around the table with white hair, and they had the New York Jewish accent going, and they were talking about Tiger Woods and the Masters. And so I'm going to open, before we go any further with the Quick Six show topics, this for the golf people. that love the show before we get into the hockey and probably some football too. But Tiger, it was the front cover of the paper, the newspaper. Those guys were reading it. And it said, Tiger, tease it up. And a photo of Tiger Woods, but it was tease as in teasing you. Tiger, tease it up.
Yes.
Tiger Woods flew to Augusta National on Tuesday, sparking even greater speculation the Masters next week could be his first time competing against the best since a car crash 14 months ago severely injured his right leg. Various plane tracking websites showed a Gulf Stream registered to Tiger leaving South Florida at about 9 a.m., and the Twitter handle Eureka Earth showed the private jet on the runway at Augusta's regional airport. SI.com's Morning Read cited a source as saying Tiger was at Augusta National with his 12-year-old son, Charlie. Tiger's agent at XL Sports did not immediately respond to a voicemail for a comment. Tiger has not said anything publicly or even walked in a way that suggests he's ready to play in his first major since the Masters, by the way, in November of 2020, the COVID screwed up Masters. But speculation began to pick up when Phil Mickelson was removed from the list of players who plan to compete in the Masters, which starts April 7th. Tiger was still on the active invited players list. And when asked a week ago for guidance on a decision, his agent said it was too early. So you're more of a golf guy than me. You're going to be meeting with a golf guy this afternoon. And, in the business realm, while I like golf, I'd rather watch it than play it. I get this as a big story. But what are the chances he just took his kid hit the driving range at Augusta? Is this much ado about nothing, or is it real?
I don't think Tiger, a week before the Masters, is just going to take his kid for a stroll, down the lane at Augusta, and that's where he's choosing to go for a little round of golf or to hit the range. There's more to it than that. He wants to go and play the course. I'm sure of it. He wants to go and see, what he can do out there, how his body holds up to the demands of Augusta and the course. He's not just rolling out there just for fun. Tiger wants to know if he can play. We've seen it in his eyes, and we know that he's been in the accident and he's not going to be the 25-year-old Tiger that we fell in love with. But, that fire is going to be there. So if he has an opportunity, he feels good, he can go play 18, put a decent score up, then he'll come back next week and compete. He's got I'm pretty sure it's a lifetime entry into the Masters. So, if Tigers can play, he's going to play.
I see something's happened with my screen. It seems a little cloudy, so if that's a problem for everybody, just close your eyes and listen to Darren and my beautiful voices, because I've been told by the viewers it's very soothing, and maybe the picture will come back. If it doesn't, I'm sure we'll all survive. And for our tech crew, the fastest pit crew in the business, although it seems to have come back, I think we might be okay, but we have to fix it in the break. We will. Can we hit the quick six show horn, please, Director Jordan? Thank you. Thanks. So we opened with the NHL. Austin Matthews scored his league-leading 49th goal and had a helper as the Toronto Maple Leafs ended the Boston Bruins 4-game win streak with a 6-4 victory Tuesday night. The breaking news today, the NHL fined Bruins forward Taylor Hall $5,000 for roughing Leafs defenseman Ilya Lyubushkin during Toronto's victory. The incident occurred with less than 5 minutes to play in the second period when Hall appeared to punch Lyubushkin in the side of the head from behind and then shoved him down to the ice after the Leafs defenseman had first knocked him close to the boards from the side. So I started a holy war on Twitter. Didn't really mean to, but I watched the clip. Gosh, I love NHL Network, by the way. I love it. And as I'm watching Taylor Hall come from behind and drill a sucker punch, which, by the way, have you ever been sucker punched, Moose? Because I have.
No.
Both literally and figuratively, I've been sucker punched. It doesn't feel real nice. And I'm like, this reminds me a lot of Todd Bertuzzi and Steve Moore. So I awaited, fully expecting a suspension for Taylor Hall today. And then I see a $5,000 fine come down the pipe from the NHL player safety. And I'm like, what? But as I've said many times, somehow you're going to need to find a way to word this properly on my tombstone. The one will be the size of the CN Tower. I know nothing. Don't ask me about player safety in today's NHL, because I thought we were doing this for the safety of players. That's kind of the idea. Steve Moore can't walk after what Bertuzzi did. And, thank God Lyubushkin can take a punch, if you will. Not to say that Steve Moore can't. But holy smokes, people are testy with what I said, comparing this to the Todd Bertuzzi sucker punch. Lyubushkin popped right up. Steve Moore did not. People are saying Bertuzzi's was premeditated, blah, blah, blah. Sucker punch is a sucker punch. I've received them. I've seen countless ones. Just because Lyubushkin got up doesn't make it less dirty. So the poll question today for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center is, should Taylor Hall have been suspended for his sucker punch on Ilya Lyubushkin? And over 70% of respondents on Twitter, the last I saw, said that indeed Taylor Hall should be suspended for the sucker punch. Okay, I sit there and I watch Craig Button and all these guys that I love, and they say these things, Moose, if we can see Moose again, these cute little comments like, this is the kind of thing we don't want in the game anymore. So throw the book at this son of a gun. A $5,000 fine for that? I don't get it.
I know. It's because it ended up being a fairly harmless play. I mean, yeah, he was obviously shaken up, and because he got up, we tend to think that it wasn't so bad. But the act was the same, right? And because it's Taylor Hall and it's not Donald Brashear, when Taylor Hall goes and does it, I mean, he's not a big, tough enforcer. His punch doesn't pack a lot of weight. So we tend to think it's not the same. But, it looked very similar, and he's going to take a $5,000 fine and you move on. But, yeah, it's the hockey world's divided on this one for sure.
I don't get it. When they talk about plays they want out of the game, Exhibit A, that's textbook. That's what they're showing in the summertime at league meetings. We don't want this. That was 1980s, 1990s Thursday. Not a big deal. But now I don't think we want this anymore, and fine, okay, whatever. James Alstra's watching in Manitoba. He says, Rod, you got roasted on Twitter. Wow, you're still our man here. Oh, trust me, I can handle it. Believe me, I can handle it. So moving on. How are we doing for time? Yeah, real good. In Pittsburgh, the Rangers were there, and Frank the Tank Vetrano and Braden Schneider, the pride of Prince Albert, scored less than 5 minutes apart in the second period. Chris Kreider added his 45th goal of the season, and the Rangers moved into second place in the Metropolitan Division with a 3-2 win over Pittsburgh. In Tampa, Steven Stamkos scored a power play goal 52 seconds into overtime and had 2 regulation assists as the Lightning beat Carolina 4-3. Alex Killorn, Victor Hedman, and Braden Point also scored, and Vazzy made 16 saves for the Lightning. Down here in Sunrise, Florida, Jonathan Huberdeau and Ryan Lomberg, the Lamborghini, each had 2 goals and a helper to lead the Panthers past the Montreal Canadiens 7-4. Sam Bennett and Alex Barkov also added a goal and a helper for the Atlantic Division leaders, who are tied with Carolina for the top playoff seed in the Eastern Conference. I wanted to spend more time on this game, but the Tiger thing came down and the Taylor Hall thing came down. I'll just say, Moose, it's my commentary today. If anybody wants to go read it at rodpedersen.com. 2-time winner of Canada's Sports Blog of the Year. It was nice being in the den last night. You saw my video on my Instagram at Rod Pedersen Official. You saw my guy Stormin' Norman serving up some brisket in the and tortellini in the media room. And hey, the NHL people, Moose, are now voting on our polls, by the way. They were voting on the Leafs, and they're whining. They don't like the Final Four that you posted, or wherever it came out, because the Panthers weren't in it. They're all paying attention to the show and not necessarily agreeing with what we say. I think you would say that's a good thing overall.
It's a great thing. Absolutely. So it's great. We want more people paying attention. I don't know if you saw the comments. I know you've got your top 5, bottom 5, but there was a string of comments, people weighing in on their opinions. So it's good to see the hockey people are awake and catching on to what we're doing every day.
I heard from the Vegas Golden Knights, too. They're not happy that they were ignored for the conference finals. I didn't respond.
They're not in a playoff spot, are they?
Yeah, get into the playoffs first, and then we'll talk. Now, let's hear from you, everybody. Let's hear from you in the chat. 902 text line. Jason in Red Deer says Taylor Hall probably made more money in the 5-second skirmish that followed than he was fined. And $5,000 is nothing. Wayne in Victoria, BC. No, John Ohm in Winnipeg. Ohm says a $5,000 fine should have been a $50,000 fine, but it's not. That was the maximum allowable fine.
Yeah.
Phil on YouTube says Taylor Hall was channeling his inner Will Smith. Can you believe they're still talking about that?
I know. It's insane.
We're nowhere near a resolution to whether it was real or not. Do you still think that it was real? I've never thought it was real.
Yeah, I do.
You still think it's real?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. We'll agree to disagree, but that's also fine. We're only, by the way, on point 1 of the Quick Six show topics, so this is going to carry over into point 2, and we got a lot of fun things to get to there, believe me. But continuing on with Tuesday NHL leftovers, Valerie Nichushkin scored twice, and Darcy Kemper stopped 44 shots as Colorado edged Calgary 2-1 in a matchup of Western Conference division leaders. Central Division leading Colorado won the season series 2-1. The Avs did so without Nathan McKinnon, who was out with a lower body injury. Tyler Toffoli scored for the Pacific Division leading Calgary Flames. Jacob Markstrom, Markey, as they call him, stopped 28. Our top 5, bottom 5 are coming up. We'll see if those teams are in them. In Columbus, Brock Nelson scored his career-high 32nd goal. Semyon Varlamov made 42 saves, and the Islanders held off Columbus 4-3. In St. Paul, the Flower made 32 saves and won his second straight start for Mini, which extended their win streak to 7 games with a 4-1 victory over Philly. Look out, Flower Power is back. He was smiling like a butcher's dog. I don't know if you saw the post-game interviews with him. It was just so nice to see him happy. Sometimes a change of scenery makes you happy. You know what I mean? I don't know what happened with Anaheim, but Rupe Hintz and Jacob Peterson scored in the third period to help Dallas rally for a 3-2 win over the Ducks. Record-wise, they're one of the worst teams in the Western Conference. What the hell happened? In Nashville, Michael McCarron scored twice, and Juicy Saros made 36 saves as Nashville beat Ottawa 4-1. Tanner Jeannot, what do you know, and Matt Duchene also scored for the Preds. That is our skate through the NHL with the Tuesday leftovers. When we come back, top 5, bottom 5, I want to talk more from the NHL meetings, the GM meetings, the NFL meetings. I got a slew of NFL notes. We may or may not talk about Victor Cui, the Edmonton Elks president. He might have some thoughts on the fact that the CFL released, I think it's their first preliminary power rankings just this morning. I don't know if you saw them, but the Edmonton Elks are ranked dead last in the power rankings. So we could kick that around too. On the way, Peter Loubardias and Jim Lang. This is the warm-up, and you're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network, live streaming on YouTube, and 24-hour sports radio streaming at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino fancy.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Mosaic Place, Sunday, April 10th. Get tickets now at mosaicplace.ca and sasktix.ca.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Number 16. A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
So great to have you aboard on this Wednesday, March the 30th. And for our friend Wayne in Victoria, BC, who's way out on the West Coast, it is 27 degrees Celsius today. Wayne, it bothered me all day that I smack-talked him yesterday, Darren, when he didn't hear. I was saying 31 degrees Celsius. All he heard was 1 degree Celsius. So there's your weather report from the East Coast down here in South Florida. 27 degrees Celsius today. That's the hottest it's going to get is right now, Moose. But tomorrow, 31 Celsius, so that's exciting. Hey, before we go any further, the CFL Power Rankings have come out. So this is going to be the hook to keep them until the end of this segment. I'm just going to say what they are. Number one, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It's breaking news today. The CFL Power Rankings have been released by the CFL.ca writers. By the way, I was the original CFL.ca writer. Number one, first guy to ever write for the website was right here, this guy. Number 1, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Number 2, Hamilton Tiger Cats. Number 3, Tirana Argonauts. Number 4, Saskatchewan Roughriders. Number 5, Montreal Alouettes. Number 6, Calgary Stampeders. Number 7, Ottawa Redblacks. Number 8, BC Lions. And number 9, the Edmonton Elks.
How about that?
And I'll just say, for those that haven't heard, what we're hearing is that Victor Cui is the business version of Chris Jones. So we're all wondering, how is this going to work? We all agree it's going to go one of two ways, and most think that it's going to be 2 fireballs forming to be one, and they're going to win a Grey Cup in the first year. We'll come back on that, Moose. Guys, if you're ready, the NHL Top 5, Bottom 5, because everybody loves it, as put together by your host of the show. The number 1 team in the National Hockey League is the Colorado Avalanche, and they proved it last night by virtue of their 2-1 win, I would say, at Calgary. First team to 100 points this year. They are officially your Stanley Cup favorite. Bet Regal would even tell you that, our exclusive betting partner. The number 2 team is the Florida Panthers. I witnessed them firsthand last night. They good? Highest scoring team in the NHL, too, by the way. The third best team in the NHL is the Carolina Hurricanes, who are actually tied with Florida. That's pretty good. Fourth best team, the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're still Tampa Bay until we're otherwise noted. They're still the Lightning. And the fifth best team, the Calgary Flames. They made it into our top 5. They're just too good to ignore, but they got some things to work out before the playoffs. The bottom 5 in the National Hockey League. Here we go. The 28th team in the NHL is the Philadelphia Flyers. There's no excuse why they're this bad. The 29th team in the NHL, the Chicago Blackhawks. They've sold off their valuables. Let's just get this season over. 30th team, the Montreal Canadiens. I watched them last night. They're one of the youngest teams in the NHL. They look like an American Hockey League team. But Martin St. Louis is encouraging them to go out and make their mistakes, make 1,000 of them. That's the only way you're going to learn. They're going to be good, and I just can't bear to put them last. 31st team, the Seattle Kraken. At least they sell lots of jerseys. And the 32nd team in the NHL is the Arizona Coyotes. 47 points are an NHL worst.
Oh, no.
Wrapped it all up for you, Moose. Pretty fast right there. The NHL top 5, bottom
good.
5. Agree or disagree?
No, I think it's pretty good. You know, Minnesota's won 7 in a row, so I'd probably give them an honorable mention. Pittsburgh has been rolling, and the Rangers, too. So those are kind of 3 teams that are probably, for me, right on the bubble of being in there, if not in there. So, no, I like it. It's good.
In the chat, checking out in the chat. John, I gotta advise John Kirby in Edmonton to just back away from the keyboard. You don't see the comments, but I do, and Clark does. For 2 solid days, he's been on this. And John, today, he's asked a few times, what do you think hockey players from North America not being able to go to the World Cup of Hockey in 2024? John, nobody cares. Stop asking. You've got it wrong, by the way. They're not going to do it by continent. They're going to do it by country. So you've stop asking, please, about the World Cup in 2024. I'm worried about this afternoon, not what's going to happen in 2024 World Cup. Please, I love you, but stop asking. BW regarding in Edmonton watching regarding the Taylor Hall fine today, $5,000 for his sucker punch on Lyubushkin. BW says Steve Moore was chopping the Vancouver Canucks captain so much you could build a log cabin down by the river. Bertuzzi was wrong for the record. Waiting till you get Steve Moore in the corner and pound him. I don't know what BW is even talking about. A sucker punch is a sucker punch, and as if you go in and check our Twitter, some guy DM'd us the NHL rulebook that says if there's a sucker punch, you will automatically be assessed a match penalty. That didn't happen last night. Taylor Hall got a 2-minute minor for roughing. That's it. So they botched the call from the jump. And I'm sitting here wondering why I'm even talking about it because, again, I can't figure out. They literally spin a wheel. Wouldn't you like to get into George Parris's office and just have a look at that wheel that they spin to decide what the punishment's going to be on a daily basis?
Really feels like it sometimes. We don't know, right? And, you know, largely you think that we've been around the game a long time, and not even us, but, you know, some other people in hockey that have been around a long time can't predict what the punishments are going to be for some of these incidents. So it becomes really difficult to predict. And yeah, this one was interesting. I thought for sure there'd be a game or two, but it's just a fine.
You're supposed to get a match for a sucker punch, and they didn't get that. And over 70% last I saw respondents to our poll are saying, yeah, he should have been suspended. So I don't get it. Hussey's Huddle, a wonderful football podcast. Hussey's Huddle is watching and says, as a Red Wings fan, I think they deserve to be bottom 5 with how they've played lately. It's going to be tough to do a bottom 5 in the month ahead for the end of the regular season because we're getting into meaningless games. And you're going to get your call-ups for the American Hockey League and the ECHL and probably Junior. Wouldn't that be something if Connor Bedard could get called up? He just didn't have a team to go to. He's not drafted by anybody yet. Sebastian Jersey watching on YouTube. New viewer. Says the New York Rangers deserve a lot more love. Hey, brother, I get it. They've been in my top 5 the last 2 weeks, and I was soundly criticized for that. You just keep coming back, as we say in the recovery world. Keep coming back. I've had the Rangers in the last 2 weeks. You know, we can't please everybody. But this is what I love when I walk into these media rooms in the in Sunrise, Florida, or the Saddle Dome, or wherever we may find ourselves. It's the guys that come up and start shaking their finger. I didn't see our team in the top 5. Yeah, I love that because it just tells me that they're paying attention to what we're doing on a week-by-week basis. I love it so much. I'll get to
and
the
you
CFL
did call New York your
comment
dark horse to win. You called your New York the dark horse to win the Cup. So,
yeah, Sebastian.
There is that.
Go back and look at last Wednesday's show. I said the Rangers are officially the East Conference dark horse, and the St. Louis Blues are the West Conference dark horse. Isn't that what I said, the Blues, or did I say the LA Kings? I can't remember.
You said the
Nobody
Blues, yes,
anyways.
this week, yeah.
Okay. Before I continue on with our notes in the quick six, we're doing some off-roading here today. I hope that's okay. I knew that we were going to have a lot of fun because there's a lot of things to talk about today, and we're all over the road. But I said to Moose this morning, here's what I would like to do this summer if I have any opinion on the show that's called the Rod Pedersen Show, the guys that have meetings planning for the show without me. I said I would like to go to the Centennial Cup in Estevan for the National Junior A, and we're doing that. And then I said I'd like to go to the Memorial Cup in St. John, New Brunswick, if that's at all possible in June. Then I would like to go to Touchdown Atlantic, do the show from there. We're already contractually obliged to be at the Calgary Stampede. That's going to be fun. And then August, the World Juniors. So, yeah. Can you get on it, Moose?
Working on it.
Good. John Massey. Here's this guy. I'm in such a great mood that I'm not going to let people like him get under my skin. John Massey has found us. He comes after me on Twitter quite regularly. He says the Oilers deserve more love. It's cool to hate the Oilers, ain't it, Rod? I'm not biting, John. You want to get into a fight? I'm not doing it. He's similar to Jeff the Stamps fan. You're not going to put the Oilers in the top 5. You're not going to put the Oilers in the bottom 5. They are a middling team. That's all I'll say. But nice try, John. Impressive. Moving on to point 4. NHL GM meetings, Moose. Nikita Kucherov was happy to be the villain last summer. After his Tampa Bay Lightning hoisted the Stanley Cup for a second straight season, the star winger sported a T-shirt with the slogan, $18 million over the cap. In response to criticism, the team had unfairly gamed the NHL salary cap system. Tampa was salary cap compliant during the regular season, but that threshold doesn't apply during the playoffs. When rosters expand, Kucherov, who was on long-term injured reserve for the duration of the league's 56-game campaign, would go on to put up 32 points in 23 playoff games. You hear that? Carolina defenseman Dougie Hamilton said after the Hurricanes were eliminated by Tampa in the second round, quote, "We had a great season. We lost to a team that's $18 million over the cap," unquote. Stretching the salary cap into the playoffs was one of the subjects touched on by the NHL's 32 general managers at this week's annual meetings in Florida, but that's as far as things went. And I'm going to move on to the football stuff for the football people that are watching, Moose. So there's that. We talked about it, but we're not going to change anything. Tampa literally hoodwinked the entire NHL. And good for them. Julian Brisebois, the general manager. Unbelievable. To football, point 5. Palm Beach, Florida, just north of here, where the meetings are going on. The NFL has adjusted its overtime rules, only for the postseason, though. We talked about this at length yesterday. NFL changing the sometimes controversial overtime rule to guarantee each side gets the ball in the playoffs. In other news, Roger Goodell, the commissioner, concluded the meetings by urging caution regarding the Deshaun Watson situation in the NFL's investigation. The quarterback, who did not play for Houston at all last year after 22 women accused him of sexual misconduct, will not be indicted on criminal charges. Now, with the Cleveland Browns after a trade, Watson still faces civil lawsuits. Goodell says a discipline officer jointly appointed by the league and players' union would make the determination on the discipline for him. And Goodell said also, if the league discovers a violation in Dolphins owner Stephen Ross's conduct regarding the integrity of the game, the information will be released publicly. Former Dolphins coach Brian Flores has sued the NFL and 3 teams claiming racist hiring practice, and also accused the owner of the Dolphins, his former boss, of offering him a bonus to lose games in 2019, something the owner has vigorously denied. And the Baltimore Ravens have signed coach John Harbaugh to a 3-year contract extension through 2025. They were 8-9 last year. It was only the second losing record of John Harbaugh's tenure in Baltimore. So that's what's coming out of the NFL. Moose, you got a minute for all of that.
It's a lot. You know, it kind of feels like the Dolphins in the tanking situation have kind of gone to bed a little bit. We hadn't heard from it. So it'll be interesting to see where that comes out, where the NFL decides to go with Deshaun Watson, if there'll be any discipline. You know, wouldn't that be something if the Browns traded for him and then he got disciplined by the league and had to sit out a bunch of games? But, you know, I think it's probably all going to be fine. And if he's been cleared by the courts, he'll be cleared by the league, I'm sure.
I'm with you on that. I guess in the time that we do have left, do you have any thoughts on those CFL power rankings that came down? Everybody seemed to enjoy those. 30 seconds, you got.
I know. It's so weird seeing Calgary in the bottom half of the league, you know, and not just stapled or glued to the top 2 or 3 spots in the power rankings. That's probably the craziest. And then Chris Jones in last place. That's all you need is to tell him he can't get it done, and look out for Edmonton.
See you in hour 2.
See you then.
We're going to Calgary next with Lou. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, available all across Alberta and BC on TELUS Optic Cable. Also live streaming on YouTube, and if you missed any portion of the show, you can always catch it wherever you enjoy your podcasts, including Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of time. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino fancy.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at BetRegal.net.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Here we go. They're basking today here in South Florida in the Panthers' big win last night over the Montreal Canadiens 7-4 in FLA Live Arena. And the wonderful thing about Daytime Sports Talk is that we have breaking news. Breaking news today. The NHL fined Boston Bruins forward Taylor Hall $5,000 for roughing Maple Leafs defenseman Ilya Lyubushkin during Toronto's 6-4 victory over Boston on Tuesday. So before we get to the Flames game last night against Colorado, let's open it up with Peter Loubardias, Fan 960, Flames radio color man. Looking amazing today, by the way, Lubo. Thank you for joining us. $5,000 fine. Did they get it right, or should it be more? And in terms of a suspension, do you think?
Well, I only had an opportunity, Roddy, to look at it a couple of times. These things are always so hard to judge. Player safety, those decisions. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think it always, for me, comes down to previous offenses, how long a player potentially might be out. These things happen almost virtually every night. So I'm okay with it.
Fair. Well, I thought he should have been suspended. It was a clear sucker punch, was my take on that. Maybe comparing it to Todd Bertuzzi and Steve Morey is a little bit of a stretch, which I did earlier. But hey, again, like you say, it's all subjective. So Valerie Nichushkin scored twice, and Darcy Kemper made 44 saves as the Colorado Avalanche edged the Flames 2-1 last night in the Saddledome. Obviously, I'm in South Florida. I didn't hear the build-up in Calgary. Was that a playoff preview thing you guys were hyping up? Take me inside the mood last night.
Well, Rod, it was such an emotional game here on Saturday, and what Brad Treleving would refer to, and now I've tried to adopt it, as a unicorn. That 9-5 game, and the atmosphere here was as good as I've seen for a long, long time in their wild win over the Oilers. So it certainly didn't have that kind of feel or excitement level. People have really enjoyed the three games between, the top two teams, I guess you can say, in the Western Conference. Good hockey game. The Flames had more than enough opportunities to win it. I don't think they got as many quality opportunities as they would have liked. They could have made Darcy Kemper's life a little bit more difficult. But, Rod, the interesting story about last night, and really the last two games, is I don't know if people would realize this on the outside, but prior to the last two games, the Calgary Flames had given up 5 home goals while penalty killing. 5 all season long. They were at over 94%. Well, last night, Nichushkin scored both those goals on the power play, and the Oilers, despite scoring 3 power play goals on Saturday. So the Flames have given up 5 power play goals in 2 nights. That's all they'd given up in their first 32 home games of the season. So it was an enjoyable game. The Avs, obviously, without Nathan MacKinnon, they're very worried about a broken finger, a broken hand as a result of the fight that he was involved with on Sunday evening against Matt Dumba of the Minnesota Wild. But good game. And yeah, it gets built up the best you can. Probably would have been a little better, Roddy, if it didn't follow what happened here Saturday.
Well, tell me about what happened Saturday, because, again, I'm in South Florida. I wake up Sunday morning and go, 9-5? it sounds like it was a lot of fun, Lou.
It was, I have not heard, and Roddy, you've been in our building quite a bit this year. I have not heard the building like that for 2 or 3 years. It had incredible buzz even an hour before the game. Needless to say, there's no shortage of Oiler fans that either make the trek or, more importantly, even live in Calgary. The fans were at one another. It was, I remarked at 3-2 late in the first to Derek. I said, it might be 9-8 tonight, because it did have that feel. It was like almost everything was going to go in. And I wouldn't, the crazy thing about the game was, yes, the Oilers used both their goalies. Did they get very many big saves? No. But the Oilers' defense was just, like, Rod, when was the last time a team gave up 9 even strength goals? 9. Calgary was 0 for 4 on the power play. 9. And,
you got me.
Gaudreau and company had a great night. And the crazy thing about the game for me, because in this day and age, way more so in my current role, and I think it's how I look at the game all around, I felt myself going back and forth between, this is unbelievable, and part of me actually didn't love it because I had great anticipation of kind of a more hard-fought 4-3 kind of game, than this game that could have been played at Lake Louise. But it was unique. It was incredible. People are obviously still buzzing about it. There wasn't a lot of checking from the guys in white on that particular night.
Oh, Lou, man, you're making me smile. I didn't even see a shift. And by the way, you talk about your broadcast crew. I don't know if you ever get tired, Lou, but my God, I spent 7-8 weeks there in Calgary. You guys are always on the radio. Good for you, man. But I know you're having fun, but it's a lot of work. I hope they realize what they have in you guys. And by the way, I just perused. If the playoffs started today, it's the Flames and the Blues. How would you feel about that matchup in round 1?
Tough. Hard, heavy team, experience, know how to play, know how to win. I think it'd be a heck of a series. We'll see. There's still a long way to go until we get early May and the start of the playoffs. Rod, regardless, I think the Flames are going to win the Pacific Division. They're going to be first. They're going to get a very, very tough opponent in round 1. And it will not be easy. There's no one opponent that I could look at right now and say, well, I think the Flames will be heavily favored. Not in my mind. And not in my mind, not because I don't think this team could have a deep run. It's the best Calgary Flames team I've seen since I've been in the city, and I've been here now for a long, long time. But until you get over at that time of year, you're not over.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hey, I get it. They're sure fun to watch. They sure seem to have a lot of character. And, Lou, for our sake and your sake, I hope it's a Flames. But, yeah, great team with a wonderful coach. But I hope it's a Flames-Panthers Stanley Cup final. That would be amazing for this show and yourself. But we're also going to be in Estevan May 20th to the 29th for the Centennial Cup. So, Lou, if for whatever reason you're not broadcasting then, if the Flames should not make it that far, I hope to see you out there. Because, as you know, Tower Pizza is king. And it's going to be a great time down there in Estevan.
Rod, I will get there. I'm not going to tell you how many days I'll be able to do it. But I have every intention of getting back there for at least a day or two. I think anybody who knows me at all, that's where the journey began. It's been a long time since I've been there. It's really special. I know that there's a lot of, former players from even my era heading back. I really want to find a way to go desperately, if at all possible.
Well, we'll be there for sure. We'll keep a spot warm for you, Lou. Hey, let the good times roll. We'll see you soon. Thanks for the time, buddy.
Okay, have a great time, and it's too bad the weather stinks there.
Of course. Yeah, down to 27 today. Our good friend Peter Loubardias, one of the great ones, Lou, joining us from the Saddle Dome. I can answer some of your questions, folks, regarding the NHL. We'll do it when we come back for viewer takeover for Taco Time. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, again available all across Alberta and BC, carried by TELUS Optic Cable. Also live streaming on YouTube and 24-hour streaming sports audio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Yes, as Lou pointed out, a very beautiful day down here in South Florida. They all are. And before we get to viewer takeover, and I guess in a way we are. You can always write into our website, by the way, at rodpedersen.com. I don't see them. They get sent to Morgan, and she forwards them to me. But Glendon out in Newfoundland writes and says, hey, my number on Twitter is Dusty. My handle is @DustyTrout. I do sports betting picks. Just wanted to say I just came across the show on Game Plus TV last week. Great show. I now have it on when I'm doing my research. Haha, keep up the great work. Trust the dust. Glendon is the real name, but Dusty is the nickname. And I had just mentioned that, I would like to go to the Memorial Cup in St. John, New Brunswick if Moose could make it happen. And Dusty's out watching. He says, I'm in St. John's. Let's meet up, brah. So, as you all know, I love my junior hockey, and I'm hoping we can find a way to make it happen for the Memorial Cup. A sports update, the Montreal Alliance of the Canadian Elite Basketball League announcing they have signed American small forward Dominic Green for the 2022 season. The 6'6" American currently completing this season in the German Pro A League with the Sparkassen Stars. And the Niagara River Lions announced today the signing of Olu Ashiwalu. The 6'7" forward returns to Niagara for this CEBL season after a successful season playing with the Alaska Aces of the Philippine Basketball Association. The Canadian men's soccer team's in action again tonight, looking to wrap up their World Cup qualifying campaign against Panama. With a berth in Qatar 2022 already secured, the Canadian men are looking to finish first in CONCACAF qualifying and earn valuable FIFA ranking points that could help in Friday's World Cup draw. Sounds like a whole lot of Formula One stuff to me, doesn't it? We're getting into all of it. This sports update is for Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games for the Tap, Brewhouse, and drive-through liquor store, and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. Sliding into the chat, we got a few comments here from the viewers. Tacona in Winnipeg says, hey, Rod, CHL top 10, ice, baby. Are they going to be number one? I haven't seen the rankings yet. I'm waiting for them to come out. The only guy that sends them to me is Brian Munns, the voice of the Winnipeg Ice, in his blanket news release that he sends out. I haven't seen them unless you have, Clark. I don't know. I haven't seen the rankings. They usually come out today. Yeah, CHL rankings. Clark's talking to me. You do have them? Okay, if you want to pull them up in the minute that we have left, I would be... Okay, hour 2. Hold on to your bingo cards, everybody. We'll push that to hour 2. And we'll look at tonight's featured games. I want to mention, too, by the way, Taco Time back on board. Choo-choo. I don't ever want to take this thing off. Last minute of play in hour 1. Last minute of play. I don't ever want to take this thing off. Taco Time is back. Over 120 locations across Canada. There's always one near you. And all of their ingredients 100% sourced in Canada. Love us some Taco Time. Todd Pinckney was wondering what's the turnaround in Johnny Gaudreau's play. 2 words. Daryl Sutter. 4 words. Jolly Rancher. Those CFL power rankings. People want to talk about those too. Ted in Winnipeg, he says... All CFL teams should realize that light at the end of the tunnel is the Edmonton Elks train coming fast. Go Riders. What? Stick around, everybody, after this break.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Back in the day, while Gretzky did put up with some harassment, overall, you didn't touch Wayne because you would then have to deal with Dave Semenko and Marty McSorley. That's just not the way the game is played anymore. I'm not an NHL coach. I don't watch enough Leafs games. It just, to me, comes across as a lot of whining that if you do complain, it's going to go one of two ways. The refs are either going to listen, maybe he's right, and get the calls, or they're going to ram it even more where the sun don't shine.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It sure is. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Had to think about that for a second. Welcome to the RP Show's Hour 2. Brought to you by Great Western Original 16 Beer. The best beer in the game. We've been through our show topics. We've had our breaking news. There's a lot today. Taylor Hall of the Boston Bruins fined $5,000 for his sucker punch of Ilya Lyubushkin of the Leafs last night. And that's brought about our poll question, which we will get to in a moment. But can we please welcome in the verbose, the talented, and the lovely Darren Moose DuPont, the co-host and owner of the fine program. Hi, Moose. What's with the no glasses today? You got your contacts in, or what's happening?
Yeah, I went no glasses. I don't know. It's just how I woke up and decided to attack the day. I'm all good today.
All right, the Moose broadcasting from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. We mentioned the Taylor Hall fine. That is the poll question for Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center. Should he have been suspended? Last I saw 70% on Twitter saying yes, he should have been suspended. What are they saying? Do you have a body of work, Clark, on YouTube? Big enough body of work? 62% say yes, he should have been suspended for the sucker punch, and I think you said, Moose, he should have been too. Yeah. Clark was saying that we have a bunch of graphics here to throw up in Hour 2. And I guess what my point is, we've been through all the show topics. Like, for instance, Jason in Red Deer writes in, he goes, I've been in and out of the show, Rod. Did you talk about the CFL power rankings yet? Yes, we have twice. We've talked about them twice already. And we'll probably go back in this segment. But it's our show. And we decide when and where. So, Darren, we have these graphics from our friends at BetRegal.ca, our exclusive betting partner with regards to the Stanley Cup favorites. And you can move me off the screen, folks. Guys, back in the Millennium Falcon, flying it at home and put Moose up to show the graphic, if you don't mind, because I did my top 5, bottom 5. Clark says he's got it ready to go. From our friends at Bet Regal, these are the odds from their odds makers for Stanley Cup champions futures bets. Go ahead, Moose.
Yeah, well, I can't read it better than you can. My monitor's a little bit far away, but the Colorado Avalanche are favored to win the Cup. What is that? Plus 375? That sound about right? Florida Panthers,
you don't need to read the actual odds.
But the Calgary Flames, number 3 in terms of Stanley Cup odds. How about that? Ahead of Tampa Bay, ahead of Carolina, ahead of Toronto and Pittsburgh. Boston snuck their way into the leaders here along with New York. And then, winners of 7 in a row. There's the Minnesota Wild near the bottom. They probably will provide some really good value right now if you want to take a run. But some interesting teams creeping up. If you want the favorites, Colorado, Florida's, the Calgarys, you'll get a little return. But if you think New York's got a chance, Minnesota, St. Louis isn't even on the board here, they would be some pretty good value too.
Yeah, well, it's funny because, there you go, last night, maybe you need to put your glasses on, Moose, and you could see it a little better. But last night I'm at the Panthers game. I'm with my buddy Thad. You've heard, I was almost going to, next time I'll take a selfie of me and Thad. He's the general manager of the Beach House in Pompano Beach. And they got a nice little family thing going on at the Panthers game. And he's like, Rod, this is my mom and dad, Jackie and Francois. And she had a Panthers jersey on, and lo and behold, her maiden name is Giroux. So that worked out real nice that she's going to get a jersey with Giroux on the back. They already had them being sold in the Panthers store. I went in there, and I'm like, oh, man, take my money. Wait. And because it's South Florida, they got beach wear, gym wear, obviously jerseys. They got everything, man. And I got out of there without spending any money. But anyways, and then Thad's dad, Francois, had on a Habs jersey. Okay, so one had on a Panthers jersey, the spouse had on a Canadiens jersey, and I said, well, one of you is going to be happy tonight. Going to leave here happy. And Francois pulls up his Habs jersey. He's got a Panthers t-shirt on underneath. So we all had a big laugh. But she said that Jackie, his wife, had $2 bet on the game that the Panthers were going to win. And I'm like, isn't that a fun way to bet? Because I'm looking at your odds there. And for instance, if you put down $1,000 on whatever team, say Minnesota, you'd win $240. I've learned that's how betting works. But even at Bet Regal, you can put down $2. And the feeling of winning or losing is pretty much the same as a huge bet, right?
Yeah. Oh, it is. It absolutely is. When you got a little juice on the line, right? I mean, even if it's $1 or $2 or $5, $10, whatever, or it's $100. I mean, that feeling of, I might win, I'm going to lose, and there's a little bit less risk. So there's lots of fun ways to bet. And even if you're on the free play site, betregal.net, there's fun ways to play there too, and you still have the same excitement.
Yeah, the pay site is betregal.ca. The play for free sportsbook is at betregal.net. Before we get to the CFL Power Rankings, the first edition of the year, the Rod Squad, the viewers, have been asking for the CHL Top 10. So let's drop those, if you don't mind, because that's come out in the last 24 hours, and I haven't seen these yet. How did this not come to my inbox? Number 1, the Winnipeg Ice. They have rightfully regained their number 1 spot. Hamilton Bulldogs 2, Edmonton Oil Kings 3, Everett Silvertips 4, Charlottetown Islanders 5. I'll stop and say 3 of the top 5 teams in Canada are from the Western Hockey League. Number 6, Sherbrooke Phoenix. Number 7, Kamloops Blazers, taking care of business. Number 8, Patrick Roy's Quebec Rampart. Number 9, the Windsor Spitfires. And number 10, the North Bay Battalion. And I got to think the Regina Pats, God's team, are just on the cusp, just out by a smidge
Hot take
of the top 10, or at the very least, an honorable mention. And so thank you, Clark, for putting that up. And Moose, you will be behind the microphone tonight for my team versus your team in the Brandt Center. You must be excited about that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to getting to the rink. And we'll see Connor Bedard, and we'll see Kyle Krenkovic, and Blades versus Pats is always fun.
Okay, I had to move my computer from over here to plug it in because it was dying. I've been on it so much this morning. Did Bruce Willis pass away? Karen, watching on YouTube, writes in and says, rest in peace, Mr. Bruce Willis. A friend just texted me and said he passed away. It sounds like fake news to me. Karen, you better be right. I'm searching. I'm doing a quick Twitter. Is it fake news? He is not. Oh, okay, I got it. Thanks, Clark. From CBS News. Karen, don't do that now. You're flirting with a ban. From CBS News, acclaimed actor Bruce Willis is stepping away from his career due to a recent diagnosis of aphasia, a language disorder that impacts a person's ability to communicate, his family said today. He didn't die. But I appreciate you writing in as your daytime sports and entertainment source. That's us.
Oof.
World's been full of a lot of fake news today.
I love Bruce Willis. It'd be tough not to see him in any more movies. You know?
Listen, first movie of his I ever saw, never forget, was Blind Date. And I was in high school, and I thought, this guy's cool. I want my hair to be like his. He had the widow's peak going, as they say.
Yeah.
And, of course, before long it did. And I was wishing that I didn't have that. But Bruce Willis, very cool guy, not dead. Now, let's go to the CFL first power rankings of the year. And you can leave these up with me, guys. Here you go. This from the writers at CFL.ca. And again, yours truly, the first ever writer at CFL.ca. Not anymore. Number 1, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Number 2, the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I don't know how you could argue that. They've met in the Grey Cup the last 2 years. Why would you expect that to change? Number 3, Toronto Argonauts. They're bullish on the Argos out there. So good for them. Number 4, Saskatchewan Roughriders. I'm not sure even I have them the second best team in the West Division, but the writers do at CFL.ca. This is where it gets murky. Number 5, the Montreal Alouettes. So they say if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. I don't subscribe to that theory, and I would put the Alouettes up that high. Under VA and Trevor Harris, 2 close friends of this show. Number 6, the Calgary Stampeders. All I have to say about that is they'll do their talking on the field. That's all I have to say about that. Number 7, the Ottawa Redblacks, they're saying is the worst team in the East Division. Again, they'll do their talking on the field. It's a little surprising, but somebody's got to go there. Number 8, the BC Lions, and I would put them in 9th, and I hate to say it because I love their outfit, I love their regime, but with 2 Canadian quarterbacks whom are both unproven, I'm not sure that you could put them ahead of number 9, Chris Jones. Edmonton Elks. Hashtag fear the deer. That is the first look at the power rankings in the Canadian Football League. If we can bring the Moose back in, I don't. Nice work on that. The more smoke and mirrors and pomp and circumstance, the better, guys. Whatever else you can, keep it going. Yeah, I don't agree with those. Hardly at all. And I think they took the easy way out, Moose, because to put Winnipeg and Hamilton 1 and 2 would be pretty obvious, don't you think? It's 1:11 Eastern, by the way.
How about
Just
that?
looked at my phone. Yeah, we are on the right track. 11:11. 11:11 Mountain. So, again, for those that weren't paying attention the first 2 times, what's your take on the CFL power rankings?
You know, it's hard, really tough, because we're just talking about offseason and speculation. And so, you know, you put Winnipeg and Hamilton 1, 2. I don't disagree with that. I think, you know, teams like Ottawa, BC, and Edmonton at the bottom, I mean, that's where they were last year. So until we see something on the field, they're going to have to be okay with being at the bottom of the power rankings and maybe being disrespected a little bit. You know, it's interesting with what Edmonton's done. They've added some pieces. Chris Jones coming back. You know, Victor Cui has come in and given the group some life. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. I think they're going to be a lot better. They're not going to be in the basement. But I just think it's really weird seeing Calgary in the middle of the pack, or I think they're in 6th or 7th. 6th. I think it's weird seeing them there and not just stapled to the top of the power rankings. So we'll see if they can get their way get their way to the top again. But that's the big weird one.
To the text line, Moose from the 902. Phil Thompson writes in. He says, good day. Thank God it's hump day. This is from Phil in Dauphin, Manitoba. He says, my thoughts on the Taylor Hall punch. It's always identical to the Bertuzzi incident. Almost identical to the Bertuzzi incident. Are you reading my diary, Phil? I've been getting summarily roasted on Twitter for saying the same thing. He says, player safety has to stop acting like these fines are punishments. I mean, if they suspended Austin Matthews 2 games for cross-checking Rasmus Dahlin, a precedent has been set. And that sucker punch should have led to a suspension. You know, by the way, and that's why I'm enjoying very much being in these NHL markets. Frankly, the conversation is no different than the WHL markets. It's just to scale. And that wouldn't surprise you at all, Moose. But regarding, we had a long talk last night in the media room at FLA Live Arena about Kyle Dubas and complaining about the officiating and so forth. And they said calls get missed all the time. Whether they think NHL officiating or CFL or NFL or WHL or soccer is getting better or worse is a subjective thing. Yes, they have guys assigned to grade the officials, but what they're saying is calls get missed. There's always going to have calls get missed because there's a human element to the game. Jeff Krieger watching in the Energy City. He says Tanner Jeannot needs more love, too. He's not going to win the Calder because there are bigger names out there. Isn't that a trip? Honestly, I don't even see Tanner Jeannot's name come up for Calder Trophy Rookie of the Year. Why do you think that is? Because what he says, because he's in Nashville, or because there's 2 kids in Detroit? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's gone through the unconventional path. I mean, he worked his way to get to the NHL, and you got these 2 young stars in Detroit that get a lot of love and attention. You got Michael Bunting in Toronto that's in one of the bigger markets, so he's getting a lot of love and attention. And granted, all these players are putting up numbers too. But Tanner Jeannot's had an incredible year, and it's fun watching his career take off. We watched him play here in the Rectangle in the Western Hockey League, and now he's crushing it in Nashville, which isn't one of the bigger markets. So I get it; it's tough.
Yeah, I remember an NHL scout calling me for a scouting report on Tanner Jeannot. And I said, gritty, hard-nosed, honest player, can score a bit. And he goes, do you think he'd be a good fit on our team? And I said, absolutely. It wasn't Nashville, by the way. It was another team. And then he scored way more than I thought he would in the NHL. He's scoring more in the NHL than he did in junior. Makes no sense. He's just a tremendous player. Some guys are better. I guess, they're better players when they're surrounded by better players. Sounds obvious, but it's not necessarily obvious. Jeff in Winnipeg says, I like that, Jeannot. Hard work paid off for him. Randy from Winnipeg, Jeannot, Rookie of the Year for me. Well, we ran that poll, and he did win, shockingly, on the show that originates from his home province. We'll take a timeout and come back with a whole lot more. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Live streaming on YouTube and live audio streaming, 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Alice Cooper, the godfather of shock rock, is back. With special guest Buck Cherry. Mosaic Place, Sunday, April 10th. Get tickets now at mosaicplace.ca and sasktix.ca.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
It's the RP Show. Promotional consideration for the RP Show provided in part by Tough Tribe for Men. It was designed to meet the unique demands of clean, professional grooming. The warm scent of a gentleman's shampoo teams up with an invigorating, cool peppermint conditioner. Top that off with a little beer and hair pomade to start your day feeling fresh and confident. Available today at toughtribeformen.com. That is the number 4, toughtribeformen.com. And Amazon Canada. Moose, you're broadcasting a hockey game tonight on television. What will you be slipping in your lid for hair product? Something from Tough Tribe for Men, or something unusual that we've never heard of before?
Maybe a little column A, a little column B. I will tell you this. I picked up a package that came in the mail, and it's got some pomade in it. So
nice.
You will be ready to go in a few weeks when I see you next.
Nothing against sporting waves, the stuff that I'm rocking in my lid now, but it's no Tough Tribe. And if I may, as my cousin Christine has pointed out, because she's ordered it, it's the smell. It's that peppermint. It's unbelievable. Hour 2 of the show is brought to you by, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I know why it got confiscated. The tubs are huge of Tough Tribe. Like, they're big. They're not exactly carry-on approved.
Why am I laughing? Because it wasn't funny. Like, they pulled it out of my bag because I was, listen, you want to hear the story? I was 3 kilograms over on my bag that I was going to check. And they said, sorry, sir, you're 3 kilograms. You got to pull something out and put it in this bag. And I'm like, oh. So I'm ripping out some clothes, and I'm ripping out my overnight bag and my shaving kit. And here's this tub, the size of an ice cream pail, of Tough Tribe for Men pomade. And they're like, sorry, no, do you want us to mail it to you? No. So I'm like, come on, it's hair, it's pomade. Up until 5 months ago, I didn't even know what pomade was.
Right.
Also, Hour 2 is brought to you by Great Western Original 16 Beer, the best beer in the game. And I also want to point out I'm wearing my Bronco Plumbing and Heating shirt today in support of Cab & Co. and all the great guys and gals over there. Bronco Plumbing and Heating, your authorized Bryant dealer. Find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information, and more at broncoplumbing.com. I'm all over the place, and I apologize for that. I will get into the... actually, I know what I'm going to do here. On the 902 line, Dan in the Bridge City texted us and said that he sent us a photo of the new Buffalo Stadium. And I don't know if you saw it. I would just encourage our viewers to Google it. He says it's kind of a ripoff from Mosaic Stadium. I would say it's a combo. It's like if Mosaic Stadium and Investors Group Field had a baby. It would look like the new stadium that's going to be going up in Buffalo. Sebastian, remember who wrote in earlier and said the New York Rangers need more love? He's watching, he's commented on YouTube and just said, nothing but love for the show, Rod. I'm a broadcasting student and do the captioning for your show at Game Plus TV every Tuesday and Wednesday.
Right.
No better duo than you and Moose. This kid gets it.
Yes, he gets it.
Put us down as references, Sebastian. There is that feel, that hometown family feel that we have here, right? My cousin Christine, watching in Medicine Hat, writes in, she says, I wonder who's using your hair products now. Oh, I see. I thought she meant she wants me to guess who's using them in her house now. And I was going to say your dog, Medano. She named her dog Medano after my dad and my favorite player in NHL history, Mike Medano. Stop. Sebastian has written back in and says, can I hold you guys to that? Yes, you absolutely can, Sebastian. They didn't understand. If we say it, we mean it. If it's coming out of my mouth, you can believe it.
Yeah.
That is a fact, Jack. Now, to the featured game, we usually do it on the weekends, Moose, but let's do it for tonight. National Hockey League, there are 6 games tonight. What's the one that you're the most interested in? Or maybe it's not even the NHL. I have a sneaking suspicion what I think you are the most interested in. Winnipeg Jets at Buffalo Sabres. The playoff chase continues for the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah,
that might be my most featured game. New York Rangers at Detroit. Yes.
Might I add, some breaking news came down this morning. I don't know if you saw this out of Winnipeg. Kyle Connor and Nate Schmidt have both entered COVID protocol. So as the Jets are now in a tight playoff race, they're going to miss Kyle Connor and Nate Schmidt for the next 3 games. So that just came down in the commercial breaker, earlier here in the show. I just saw it. So that'll play in, tonight.
But you know where my mind went? It immediately went to, that's a good thing for the brass of the Winnipeg Jets who are hoping to save their job because they'll have a built-in excuse. That's where my mind went. That's how troubled and disturbed I am. Speaking of Winnipeg, Jeff Cabillas in Winnipeg writes, LOL, Rod, you're bang on about that Bills Stadium. For those that missed it, it's like if Investors Group Field and Mosaic Stadium had a baby, it would look like what the Buffalo Bills are going to play out of. Can I get back on track, please? Today's show should be brought to you by Jeep. We've been off-roading everywhere. But dang, it's been fun. Los Angeles Kings at the Edmonton Oilers. Playoff preview potentially there, by the way. If the playoffs started today, those 2 teams would meet. San Jose Sharks in Arizona. That's what we call a friends and family game. Only friends and family care of the players. San Jose at Arizona. St. Louis Blues at Vancouver, and the Vegas Golden Knights at Seattle. NBA, Raptors home to Minnesota. And actually, I meant to put this in my read the sports update because it's in my sports update. Tonight, the Toronto Blue Jays visit the New York Yankees in Tampa Bay. It's at George Steinbrenner Stadium, 6:35 p.m. Eastern. Because I'm about to sneeze. The wind's getting up here. Sorry. God, I got to get you down here, Moose. There's just so much to see and do. That George Steinbrenner Stadium is right across the yard from the Buccaneers Stadium where Tom Brady and the Bucs play. And it's just cool. It's minor league stadium, probably holds 5,000 to 8,000. And we're looking around for spring training games to go to here. And it's just like, I'm not going to break a leg going to spring training because I just don't really care. In one way, I'm a little embarrassed that I'm not more hardcore of a fan, but the Blue Jays are playing on the other coast. I said we could jump in a car and drive over there and be there in time to watch the Jays and the Yankees tonight, but I don't care enough to. And now there's a game at West Palm Beach this afternoon. That is the home of the Washington Nationals, but I'm a fair weather fan. I'll get excited in the Blue Jays and the Raptors and whatever team, the curling, the soccer, if they're winning. And it dawned on me that that's what the fans of the Florida Panthers are and any other middling Arizona. If you win, we'll buy tickets. BC with the Lions, right? Because we are the type of people that think we buy our season tickets no matter what. We're in it. You know, Rider fans, certain Pats fans, Blades fans, the people in our Rush fans. You buy no matter what. Well, not everybody's like that. You call them fair weather fans, and that's what they are in Florida for the Panthers. They tell me that's what it is for the Dolphins, but I don't really believe that because every game I've been at, they sell out, and they've been terrible forever. But it just kind of dawned on me. I guess from a marketing perspective, Darren, you as a business guy would want to reach into the pocket of that fair weather fan and find a way to get him out every night, right? And that is the ticket. That is the $64,000 question. How are you going to do that as a marketer?
That's right. And that's why you have all these, different theme nights and third jerseys and, $2 hot dog night. And you have all these other reasons to try and get fans to the ballpark. The ones that aren't necessarily fans of the team or, you really tout that Patrick Mahomes is in town tonight. Connor McDavid's coming to town tonight and you hope that might draw fans out, right? So whatever you can do until you can win and be good consistently enough that you have fans that just love the team no matter what and will buy their season tickets no matter what because they just have to be at the game. And it takes a lot of winning and it takes a lot of tradition to build those fans.
Yeah, buddy. And I think a lot of the people don't understand that are actually marketing for the teams. For instance, I don't want to incriminate anybody here, so I'll just say I leaned over to the guy that I was sitting beside for a period last night, and I said, were you at the game when Kodak Black was here? And he was like, oh, yeah. Remember that game when they were shagging in the luxury suite? And he's like, and my friend that I was sitting beside, he's like, he's from Pompano, And I'm like, oh, I know. I know some police officers from there, and they say Kodak Black is well known to the Pompano Beach Police Department. But, hey, Moose, does anybody remember who the Panthers were playing that night? I don't, and I was there. But we all remember Kodak Black, the rapper, shagging in the luxury suite.
I know. Isn't that outstanding? But that's what we remember, and we thought that would turn into rampant ticket sales for the Florida Panthers, didn't we? It didn't exactly go that way, but maybe that's what the playoffs
attendance
are
is up.
Like in Florida.
Attendance is up. How do you know that it didn't work?
That's right. Maybe it did. Maybe they're just waiting for something to pop off in FLA Live Arena.
Tacona Powley writes in and says, luxury suites, shagging. LOL. Upon review, they weren't actually shagging. They were fully clothed. They just looked like it. There was a police department investigation into that, by the way.
Spicy.
Jeff, the Stamps fan says, in order to be a real fan of a team, there needs to be an emotional connection. And I absolutely agree with that. I do. I don't think the teams realize that. And not anymore. They used to. Andrew Stute, we've quoted him before, the Montrealer. He says, I'm loyal to my teams no matter what. Habs, Raptors, 49ers, Riders. Yeah, I get that, but what are you doing to support them? Are you buying their gear? Are you buying their tickets? Are you participating in their fundraisers? That's one of my big pet peeves, is the people that say, and I honestly don't care about this anymore, but back in the day when I was the voice of the Riders, people are like, I'm the biggest Rider fan. I throw parties at my campsite every home game, and I have people come by, and we buy chips at the grocery store, and we watch on the big screen on my satellite. I'm like, how much money a year do you support the Saskatchewan Roughriders with? Well, none. But I watch all the games. Then you are not a supporter, and I would dare to say you're not even a fan. And I don't like hearing that, Moose.
No, but I'd argue that a little bit too, because I've been in those situations. It's just I don't have money to buy jerseys or even tickets when the tickets get so expensive.
You buy Titan stuff all the time.
See? Good point. Right? But that's a great point. But even before, I go back to before I bought Titan stuff. Like I didn't used to buy any gear, but it's still, you can't control the way you feel when I watch it on TV, and I want to watch the games and cheer for the team and be excited and follow, when you used to, write about the team all the time, when you worked for the team and followed the blog every day. And, just because I wasn't spending money, I was giving you my attention, giving the team my attention, still as a fan. But there's a difference, I think, maybe then between being a fan and supporting the team, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would say that we would agree on that. I know that we have to break here, but I'll say this. This is what certain teams and leagues don't understand, is you need to be out in front of people's faces all the time, relentlessly, as Rob Vanstone said on this show last week. And you need somebody reaching their hand in your pocket, and you don't even know it, right? And that's what we are doing here now with this show, rather than waving the flag of any particular said team. Moose, we'll see you back here for overtime. What do you say?
Sounds good.
Everybody loves our NFL talk. We're situated in an NFL market. They're big news, and we'll talk about all of it when we come back with Canada's foremost NFL expert, Jim Lang. You are watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube, live streaming, and 24-hour sports radio, streaming at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Oh, big time, big time, big time, big time.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Here we go, live from South Florida. Hour 2 of the RP Show is brought to you by Great Western Original 16 beers found across Western Canada. And if you're lucky, there might even be one in your fridge. Purchased at a store near you today. This has been the hotbed all week. NHL GMs meetings here. NFL owners, GMs, and head coaches. And joining us to talk about the National Football League, where they never take a break, is Canada's foremost NFL expert, Jim Lang. There he is, the man who's covered 5 Super Bowls. He's always smiling. How you doing, Jimmy? Welcome to the C Club, by the way, the COVID Club. How you doing?
Well, I'm fine now, but a week and a half ago, I wasn't good. It felt like I had the worst head cold in the world for about 3 or 4 days. And about a week later, I felt fine. And now it's like nothing ever happened. So, yeah, I guess I'm in the club now.
Well, welcome to it. So, hey, I don't know where to start. Let's start with the Dolphins, and then we'll go to the overtime rules.
Yes.
The Tyreek Hill trade. What's your read on why that went down and what it's done for both the Dolphins and the Chiefs moving forward?
Well, I think it all goes back to hiring Mike McDaniel as their head coach. He's one of the bright offensive minds in the National Football League. And this is also a way to give Tua all the tools. Like, Tua will have no excuse after this year. Bright, young, innovative head coach. Tyreek Hill, the best, fastest deep threat in the NFL, to complement already some decent receivers and tight ends they have in Miami with Gesicki at tight end. I mean, Tua's got all the weapons he needs on offense. He's got a really bright, innovative offensive head coach. If Tua doesn't make it now, he's got no excuse but himself. And I really like what the Dolphins have done with the hiring of Coach McDaniel and going after Tyreek Hill. They're really serving notice that they're not just going to let Buffalo walk away with the division anymore. And if you go to Miami and you play them defensively, you've seen what Tyreek Hill can do to opposing teams. And so if you're going to double team Tyreek Hill, there's going to be other offensive weapons in the Dolphins. There will be single coverage, probably with a linebacker and not a fast safety. And it's going to be a big advantage for the Dolphins offense. So it's quite exciting what they're doing in South Florida. And I'm really intrigued to see what Mike McDaniel, after all the success and innovations he showed with the 49ers offense, what he's going to do with the Dolphins.
I could sit and listen to sports radio down here all day, and a lot of days I do. And it's funny because they love Brian Flores when he was coach of the Dolphins. Then they fire him, and they're trampling all over Brian Flores. And they love Mike McDaniel for all the things you just said. Plus, they said, he's honest. He just says it the way it is. I'm like, he hasn't coached a game yet. We'll see how it goes, but I'm hoping for the best for the Miami Dolphins. And they're making the right moves because they vowed to get 2 of the weapons, and they're making good on the promises.
Yeah, and if you think about the AFC right now, Rod, and some of the moves, around the league. I mean, let's face it, the Denver Broncos getting Russell Wilson was a shot across the bow to a lot of teams around the NFL. I think Russell Wilson going to the Denver Broncos with that offense and that receiving core, and you got Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, and I'm thinking Russell Wilson now has excellent deep threats to work with, new coaching staff, new team around him, sort of a change of scenery, revitalized. He's always had that bit of a chip on his shoulder, but you've seen some of his offseason workouts. There's a real laser focus to Russell Wilson going into the offseason. New division, new everything. It's going to be exciting. So teams across the AFC, you look at some of the moves and things that are happening and the way the Bengals have just loaded up on the offensive line to already a good team. It's going to be so tough. So the Dolphins hey, we're not going away. We're going to make some moves. And now you look division by division, there's no walkovers. There's none. I mean, even the Colts getting Matt Ryan, I thought it's a great improvement over Carson Wentz. And now if you're a Colts fan, you think, well, if Matty Ice has got some life left in that arm, he's an upgrade over Carson Wentz, and we're a better team for it.
Is the AFC West the toughest division in the entire National Football League now, given those moves you just brought up?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Chargers already were a good team. And I think getting Devontae Adams to the Las Vegas Raiders and getting Josh McDaniels there as the head coach. So they got a new coach, a new top flight receiver, a feared receiver in the NFC. So now defensive backs in the AFC who maybe are not familiar with him are going to have to watch a lot of tape in the offseason and game plan for him. So without question, I was just actually thinking about this before you came on, how all the 4 teams in the AFC West, I can't see any one of those 4 teams going 2-0 this year. And within the division, I just don't see how it happens because they're so evenly matched. And people are talking about, they lost Tyreek Hill in Kansas City. There's still Travis Kelce. There's still Patrick Mahomes. There's still a good team. The Chiefs are not done yet. Don't write them off. So all 4 teams in that AFC West is fantastic football. And it's going to be a war of attrition for the 4 teams who ends up standing on the top at the end of the year and who wins that division.
NFL GMs, owners, and coaches meetings going on here in Palm Beach, just north of where I sit right now. They made that change to the overtime rule, tweaking it for the playoffs only. It'll stay the same for the regular season. How do you feel about that?
I'm fine with it. I know a couple of teams try to vote that they would change it like regular season and postseason. But now they've made the change and you have no excuse. But if your defense does their job and stops the team when they have their first possession, then you just need a field goal and you win. So it's not a shootout rule. You still have to play football. But if a team scores a touchdown, you still have a chance now, if you're the Buffalo Bills, to make it happen, and the Chiefs can stop you. So I can't see how there's going to be any more overtime excuses after this change in the rules for the playoffs. And that has been a problem for a lot of people over the years, is how the playoff overtime's decided. So now both teams are going to get a chance, but both teams play defense, and both teams can get a defensive touchdown, and both teams can force turnovers. So, I mean, it's basically, it's like the coin flip. If you win the coin flip, it doesn't mean you win the game anymore, but it doesn't mean you're automatically going to lose the game as well if you lose the coin flip.
Massive game of musical chairs at the quarterback position so far this offseason. It's not done yet, but there are those that are saying that Baker Mayfield, who's out in Cleveland, may not even be a starting quarterback in 2022. Do you believe that?
Well, if you start thinking about NFL teams around the league and quarterbacks and where they set up, it's a $208 million salary cap, Rod, and most teams have locked up their quarterback. I mean, even lowly Jacksonville, now with Doug Peterson, they got, Lawrence is locked up for years with that rookie contract. I mean, I can go down the league and, they got a quarterback, they've made a move. I don't see where Baker Mayfield thinks he's going to go to a team in the NFL and then seat the current starting quarterback. I mean, there's not many opportunities, not many options for him. And the problem with Cleveland is, so they're pushing Baker Mayfield out for Deshaun Watson, but the commissioners made it very clear this week that he still may suspend Deshaun Watson. So there's no sure thing for the Cleveland Browns. They're going to get 16 games out of Deshaun Watson this year, no matter how much money they pay him. So the Cleveland situation is far from settled. And there's a lot of people looking around the league and looking at Roger Goodell and the NFL head office just to see how many games they may or may not suspend Deshaun Watson. And so until that's decided, until Goodell and the league office decides exactly what they're going to do with Deshaun Watson, it's a lot of uncertainty in Cleveland. But for Baker Mayfield, I just don't see a scenario where he's going to go to pick the team and unseat the current quarterback they have locked up and they're working with right now. So he may not have a choice. Look what happened to Mitch Trubisky, right? I mean, he had to go to Buffalo and be a backup before he ended up getting a starting job with Pittsburgh, with Big Ben retiring. There's only so many jobs available. It just may be where everything shakes down, Rod.
A wonderful NFL update. It's never slow. Everything else good with you, Jim?
Yeah, no, everything's good. I'm very excited for our Canadian men's soccer team. It's great. I mean, I remember back in '86 when they went to the World Cup, but they didn't score a goal. And I thought, well, maybe one year they'll come back. But to see how well they played and that, it's exciting. Having the Blue Jays getting ready to come back in about a week and a half is very exciting. So yeah, no, everything's Rod. I got no complaints. I was vaxxed. I got through COVID. I'm healthy. Life could be a lot worse. I got nothing to complain about, and I get to talk to you.
Yeah, love to hear it. Thanks, my good and long-time friend. I hope we can do it again soon.
Yeah, real quick, I'm wearing a button.
Yeah.
This is called Buttons for Ukraine. These twin 10-year-old boys in Newmarket are hand-drawing these buttons. They have a Facebook page called Buttons for Ukraine, and they're selling it to raise money for Red Cross Canada to help people displaced in Ukraine. So you can look for that and buy them, and they're doing great work to help the people displaced by the war over there.
Awesome job by them, for sure. Look them up, folks. All right, Jim, have a great week.
Thanks, Rod. Take care. Loving it.
Canada's foremost NFL expert, Jim Lang. Overtime is next. Taco time, viewer takeover. One more segment right after this coming up on Game Plus TV and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Hey, Rod Squad. Now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show. Official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
This is Overtime. It's a proud presentation of the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the NHL and the UFC. And Taco Time viewer takeover, I might add, as we welcome back the Moose, Darren Moose DuPont, and also Hour 2 brought to you by Original 16. You see, I put it up. I don't know if you saw that in Hour 1, Moose. It's back.
I did.
Taco Time viewer takeover. So let's get it.
That's good.
From the viewers, Carlos in Indianapolis writes, then he says, good show, y'all. Glad to have spent the fastest 2 hours of the day with everyone here. We're glad to have had you, Carlos. Mandy in Edmonton writes in, and Darren, I want your participation in this answer with her comment. She says, in light of CFL rankings, Rod, could you see your favorite CFL team in 2022 being the underdog Elks? Chris Jones, Victor Cui, Duron Carter. Funny story there. I'm not sure if you were in the room or not. I was with a couple of Stampeders coaches 6 to 8 weeks ago, and we were talking about Chris Jones, right? And I'm like, Jones is a beauty. And one of those coaches is like, oh, yeah, I worked with him here, 08 to 2012. He knows Jones. And I said, I don't know, man. I think the Elks might be my team this year. And they just glared at me, and I'm like, oh, I'm talking to two Stamps coaches right now. Whoop! But, hey, the truth just slipped out. So I think my team might be the Elks. Yeah, I think it might be the Elks. Or 1A, 1B, Stamps and Elks, because, we're talking about tailgate parties across Western Canada and the CFL, so we don't maybe want to tie our wagon to one team. I don't know. We need to talk about this, Moose. It's another meeting we need to have. Make a list.
I know.
But right now, the Elks might be the leaders in the clubhouse for me. How about you?
The thing is, and this is what's great about the CFL, but also kind of the crux of having a 9-team league, is I could go around and find a reason why I'm going to cheer for every one of them. Like, for a while, at least in recent memory, I've really been an Argyle fan, it feels like. I love the color scheme, the two-tone blue, obviously, Titans. I like the people. I like some of the players they've started bringing in, But you're right, with Edmonton, with Victor Cui, he's so cool. And Chris Jones, Duron Carter, some of our favorite people. So how do you not cheer for them? How do you not cheer for Cody and the Riders? We love him. It was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Cody.
But the big three.
Winnipeg's been, and every team. Winnipeg's been great to us. We love Montreal with Trevor Harris and VA, even Hamilton. That's what's cool about the CFL. But yeah, Edmonton is going to be a fun team to watch.
Yeah, it's a small league. They've often said it's an intimate league. We all know each other. We all know each other's business, I know. And I think, it's been 3 years since I left the Saskatchewan Roughriders. I think people are finally starting to come around on realizing that I can cheer for another team. It's just it's a former team for me. It doesn't mean I got to cheer for them for the rest of my life. I'd rather be that CFL guy. Ryan H. writes in and says, Jim Lang was amazing. Rod, I'm sure it's not always easy, but a big thank you to your team who books such great guests all the time. Absolutely. Clark's in charge of that. It's a huge team effort. We got Lee working on it now. You've booked some. Darren, and a lot of them are, longtime friends of mine, but a lot of them are people that I never met, which reminds me, I texted Dreger yesterday, and I was like, Dregs, are you still around? Are you going to be at the Florida-Montreal game? I'll be in the press box. And Dregs is like, nope, flying out early. That's the one thing people do not understand. For Dreger to come out a little early on Sunday and to be able to get a little beach time, major bonus for him because these guys, for the most part, are camped outside a conference room at a hotel, right? Like, it's not, you see them on the coast. And for me, I'm watching NHL Network all the time, man. I love it. It's E.J. Raddick, whoever that is, Elliot Friedman, and another guy that I don't know, standing on the coast, on the shore, doing their hit. And I'm like, that's the best 5 minutes of their day, because the rest of the time they're in the hotel. And I know it because I've done it. It's a lot of work for those guys. And that's the thing with Dregs. He wasn't going to traipse all the way down to Sunrise to go to a game and then back up there. So I thought I'd take a shot in the dark and see if he was going to be around.
Well, and I'm sure if he would have been around, he would have wanted to connect with you. That's the thing, because he said it when we were in Montreal that he wishes he would have yelled over and grabbed a coffee with us, right? I mean, so there'll be more opportunity for that.
John in Edmonton with a comment. He says, Rod, to comment on your thing about fans supporting teams, you don't have to buy merchandise or tickets to support a team. You can support them in other ways. Yes, and I forget. Last minute of play in the RP show. Last minute of play. That's the one thing that the teams didn't realize that I was with until I was gone. That me as their broadcaster, pitch man, and top salesman was always in the fans' pocket saying you need to buy this Friends of the Riders lottery ticket. You should buy the latest jersey. You should do this. I was making the millions. Because I was the one saying, well, you're not really a fan unless you're spending your money. Let's sell this place out. Blah, 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 blah. Who's doing that now? Nobody. So, yeah, of course you can be a fan. But I was always the guy buying the figurine, buying the 8x10, getting it shipped to me from the Dallas Stars or the Dallas Cowboys. But that's just me. I'm not saying you're wrong, John. You good, Moose? You had a fun day?
Great. Awesome. Great show.
Yeah, me too. We'll see you all tomorrow at noon Eastern right here on Game Plus TV. So I punched him.
Of course you did.